Hey, good afternoon. So, I want to do a video about BMW product quality or quality management. And are all GSAs created equal? Well, before we get into this, bit of a disclaimer. You can already see I've got a GSA, and I must admit I love it. But it's not without its faults. But I can't say whether all GSs are created equal unless I have another GS to compare it to. So I'm just riding over to my good friend Paul's house. He's got a GSA. He's got a very similar GSA to mine, and he's had it about the same amount of time. So I got my GSA just over a year ago, and Paul got his about a month before me. I've done 19,000 miles on my GSA in that year, 19 and a half, and it's done 26,000 miles. Paul, he's done a few less miles. He bought his GSA with only, I think, 3,500 miles, and he's now up to 12 and a bit, so he's done about 9,000 miles. We both of us ride our bikes in all weathers, through the winter, rain, not in the ice if we can help it, but we do ride our bikes in all conditions. We also look after our bikes, so at the end of a ride, depending on the conditions, I could, if it's been a wet ride, I'll probably dry the bike off, and if it's winter time and there's a chance of any salt on the road, I will give my bike a wash down with a jet wash, and then every couple of washes I'll use snow foam and probably muck off bike protector. Paul's a bit different. When he gets back after a ride, he'll wash his bike down, but what he does different to me is he has his bike treated with AFC 50, and he's had that done a couple of times before winter and after winter, so he's had his bike pretty well protected. But here's the difference: my bike, more miles through the winter, no corrosion, the spokes are shiny, the engine's got no corrosion on it, the paintwork looks pristine. Very happy with it. It came through the winter better than, say, my previous bike, which was a Triumph Tiger, did. Paul's bike, on the other hand, well, he's had problems. The paint has been coming off the engine, so he's had corrosion issues. He's even got the lacquer peeling off of his beak, so he's not too happy about that. Took it back to BMW, and they said, sorry sir, but your bike is outside of its 3-year warranty, and because you haven't kept it serviced within the dealer network, there's nothing we can do about it. Which is not a very good attitude to take, in my opinion, especially as it's a known problem by BMW and is on all the forums, and people often raise this point. And BMW do take action to rectify the problem. From what I understand, the dealership didn't even contact BMW head office, which isn't good. I've had my bike generate a number of error codes, usually the engine management code, and every time I've taken it to BMW, they've done a check and they've said, yeah, nothing wrong, we'll clear the code. Paul's had his a year and no error codes until this morning, when he had exactly the same error code, and he's going to take it to a non-franchise mechanic and see what he says this afternoon, and we'll trail along. Another issue that's popped up, certainly on my bike, is electrics. So just as the bike was coming up for 3 years old, the battery failed. When I say the battery failed, the bike wouldn't start then. It melted the negative terminal on the battery, so I had to get a new battery, which I got from BMW. They swapped it out as a warranty item, so I've had it for a year. And a couple of times within that year, usually after I've ridden the bike for not very long, and I've stopped, switched the bike off, tried to start it again, and all I get is a it's not a slow start, it just won't start. Unless that is, I get the bike and put it on a jumper pack, and it starts in an instant. Paul, on the other hand, has had no electrical problems. So there's a difference. We both have the Garmin Nav 6, and we've both had the notorious issue of ghosting. I took mine along to BMW and they said, do you have the original bill of sale? Now bear in mind I bought this bike second hand, so I said, no, sorry, don't have the original bill of sale. Nothing BMW can do then. I said, what? I mean, they'd be able to see that the bike was supplied with the nav, but they said nothing we can do. We don't want it. Very sorry. As far as the ghosting is concerned, it seems to be an issue associated with cold weather. So keep the Nav 6 warm. Keep it warm. I ride all through the winter. How am I going to keep it warm? So I kind of did that. Then about a month or so ago, Paul told me that he'd had ghosting on his Nav 6. He hadn't gone to the main dealer. He'd just contacted Garmin direct. And Garmin had said, oh, please send that in, sir, and we'll send you a replacement, which he duly did. So 2 weeks ago, I thought, well, you know what, nothing gained, nothing lost. So I gave Garmin a call, and Garmin said, yes sir, your device is still within warranty, send it back to us and we will replace it. Send me a replacement unit, which I've got on here. So I'm very happy with that. So there's again a dealer issue. Another problem I've started having is with the heated grip. Now I went to BMW and they said, so what could be the problem? What could be the problem is there's some very small connectors, a little connector block in the throttle side connection block. It's a little set of connectors, 2 wires to 2 wires, and sometimes they don't make good contact. So I've taken it all apart. I had to buy a special slim Torx 8 to fit up in the hole to undo the Torx screw, but I did that, took it apart, gave it a clean, gave it a spray, put it back together, it worked. Oh, sorry, it worked. Then I put it back together and it didn't work. So took it apart, cleaned it again, and it worked. And it works and doesn't work intermittently. So there's a problem as yet unresolved. The heated grip still works, it's the connection to the heated grip that doesn't work. BMW know this, the dealership said, it's a problem, you need to just do this. But it's not very good. To my knowledge, Paul hasn't had an issue with that. As I said, Paul loves his bike. I love my bike. I love riding it. They're great. 2-up, with luggage, the bike's fantastic. Never, ever are we embarrassed on the road. Superbly comfortable. All the gadgets. Great connectivity to the TFT screen when it works. But it doesn't always work. Sometimes, inexplicably, the system will completely forget the helmet and the phone that's been previously paired with it. Why? I don't know. Or going down the road, the phone's connected and the BMW connected app is on, and it'll just say all the connections lost, and it'll say connect phone to screen, or connect app. Well, the app is on, and the phone icon is on the TFT screen, so in theory everything is connected, but it's not. I mean, it's a great app as well. It gives you telemetry and all sorts of nice little things, but why does it just stop working? I don't know. So I love it, Paul loves it. As far as I can see, BMW need to look at their quality control and sort it out, and make sure all GSs and GSAs are created equal. And would I recommend you get one? Absolutely, I would. What a great bike. But just do this, just make sure that when you buy your GSA, you get a good one and don't get pulls.